Now Ayrshire Radio Podcast presents Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
This man is the founder of one of Scotland's trendiest coffee shops, which is people travelling far and wide to visit. I'm delighted to welcome Gordon Rennie from Gro Coffee.
How are you doing, Elliot?
Good to see you, Gordon. So before we find out about how it all started, it is a Sunday morning, so most people will probably be either nursing off a hangover or looking for a nice walk down the beach. So
Absolutely. We
want you to tell us what your order would be on a Sunday morning, what your go-to would be. So I think I know the answer to the first question. Are you a tea or a coffee man?
Well, I actually love both, different times of the day. So I definitely wake up in the morning and I have a nice cup of organic green tea, loose leaf, the best you can get. And, I'll get into work. And we have a fabulous, beautiful machine and the best coffee beans you'll ever get. So I tuck into a nice espresso as soon as I get to work. Yeah, it's amazing.
You can't beat an espresso. That's my go-to
absolutely.
coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
So breakfast order, what would you go for in the morning?
Oh my God, I'm the most boring guy you'll ever get in your life. I'm also vegan, so I enjoy vegan sliced bacon, a nice morning roll and some vegan butter. I am in absolute heaven.
Complete different, and that probably leads on to quite a lot we've got to talk about today. And the last question, if you were to pick your favourite cake from behind the Gro counter, what would it be?
Our top selling product is that big giant strawberry tart we sell. There's billions of them sold every week. Me and my, one of the bosses at Gro, we love the gingerbread. It's just so moist, beautiful, love it, nice icing. We just like the gingerbread, and I think we're the only ones that eat it.
There you go. So you've got your vegan selection breakfast and some gingerbread and a cup of coffee when you walk in.
Absolutely, fantastic. Gro's got something for everybody.
That's what it's all about. So we've heard about your Sunday morning order, but coming up we're going to hear how a dream became a reality for Gordon.
You're listening to Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire Radio.
So Gordon, where did you grow up?
Grew up in Irvine, born and bred, and I'm still there.
Good on you, absolutely.
Can't get out.
What was your first job?
First job, well, I tell you, my parents opened a snooker club in Dorai when I was 11 years old. So I think from the age of 12, I was pulling pints behind the bar when that was legal at that time. I think by the time I was 15, I was kind of running the show pulling pints, doing all the usual things in a family business with a bar and a licensed premises. And that's where I grew up and kind of learned a wee bit of business acumen from my old wee mum.
So from there to where you're at, there must have been a transition period. I take it you just didn't go and walk in and open a coffee shop one day. What was the path to
kind
that?
of transition? Well, my father turned part of the snooker club into a nightclub, and they had a couple of good DJs in there, kind of older guys, and I was 15, 16, and I just started learning all the stuff from them, learned all the old tunes, the best of the 60s, 70s, 80s. They loved it. It was great atmosphere, and just began picking all the tunes. Walked around to record fairs, start collecting vinyl, and began a DJ career at that point. When I was 16, 17, started DJing in the club myself, and just found I had a kind of knack for it.
So you went from DJing in the club. Did you always DJ in there, or did you start building a business outside?
No. From there, started DJing. First gig actually was in Kilmarnock at the McLean Arms, a wee old pub. I can remember it to this day, the dust falling on me in this wee old man's pub, and they just starting getting going. My Vauxhall Nova, getting the gear out and getting in there on a Friday night. I think it was even a karaoke actually, and that was my first ever contract. I think I was 18, 19, and it just took off from there. And I think I was the first guy in Scotland to buy a CD recorder, and bought a CD recorder, began duplicating collections, and that was me. And the funny thing is, at the time, a blank CD was £7. There you go. And we got to £7 for one blank CD.
You can hardly even find them on the shelf these days.
That's it. There'll be people listening to this wondering what a CD is.
Exactly. Listen, I don't think in the time I've been DJing that it was right at the very, very start with CDs and then straight onto the laptop USBs.
Mini discs, vinyl. Never done a tape deck actually, but all formats get used.
Missed all that. So obviously business, kind of growing up, you're part of your family, you were involved in a business setup, a family business, to then having a mobile DJ company, presumably have staff working for you. Are people out DJing for you as time went on?
Yeah, we had quite a few guys working for us, and it just kind of took off. We had contracts, all over the west coast of Scotland, and things were really good. And at the time, when I started this, 1920, pubs were busy, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, every night of the week. Pubs had quiz nights on, karaoke's. Young people went out multiple nights per week, and everyone was jumping. There was loads of nightclubs, and that all began to die. As went into the noughties, they all began to shut down. So it was the end of the kind of entertainment industry as we knew it.
So running one of Ayrshire's largest mobile DJ companies to transitioning into coffee, what's the story there?
Well, I was getting a bit older and wanted to go do something else for quite a while, so knuckled down. And as I said, the pubs and nightclubs were beginning to die a wee bit. And it was time to just start something else. I'd done a lot of travelling around the world and realised there was coffee bars with, big couches and places to relax and open past 5 o'clock at night. And I said, I want to come back to Scotland and do something like that here.
So you talk about the early days and understanding what made you want to try something different. You'd seen it. So you had the idea of starting a coffee shop. What's made Gro Coffee the brand that it is today?
Well, that's pretty simple. It's basically, what did you want as a consumer when I saw the opportunities? When you walk into a coffee shop or a restaurant or anything, any business, what do you want to see? How do you want it to operate in terms of open times, in terms of seating, in terms of product, in terms of cake offering, sandwiches, everything? What do you want? What would you think would make the best coffee bar in the world as a consumer? And it's as simple as that. And we took it from that perspective. It was things that I wanted. I wanted a coffee bar that was open at 9 o'clock at night, that I could get an espresso at that time. And I wanted a range to choose what I wanted in my sandwich. All these basic things that I wanted is things that I brought to Gro in Irvine. And it was a beautiful location. It was an old bar that no one wanted. And I said, this is just perfect for what we're going to do here.
An amazing concept that has grown so far throughout the years. We're going to talk about the big wins and biggest lessons just after this.
Now streaming
Ayrshire Insights, hosted by Elliot Boyce.
This is Now Ayrshire Radio.
We are still with Gordon Rennie, the founder of Gro Coffee, and we've heard about the early days. Now let's talk about the business journey. So Gordon, what was your first kind of big win?
I actually said to myself when we were going through COVID, if you could navigate this to the end and still be intact as a business and healthy, it would be probably one of the biggest achievements of my life, to make it through everything that was happening to every business, across the world, and everything that went against you, your finances, staffing, the whole lot. That to make it through this successful and keep going was probably going to be a milestone for any business, because it was so difficult at the time, and we managed to achieve it. And looking back on it, that was probably the kind of highlight when you look back. Overall, as a business over 10 years, that was its biggest challenge.
Did you say that your hardest day was probably during that period as well, or did you have harder days in the growing of the business, or even now?
Oh, listen, you have plenty of kind of dark days, where things go badly wrong, equipment-wise, staff, and, you think, how are we going to come back from this? It's really difficult. And yeah, you deal with kind of financial pressures that everybody does with. Darkest day. Listen, you get through a lot of many dark days. There's no doubt about it. I can't say with then you're totally catastrophic, other than some major leaks, and water pouring in my head on a Sunday morning and stuff like that, and still trying to manage to get open. It's things like that as well, so it's not too bad. If
you had somebody listening and they were maybe going through growing a business, and people will naturally have those dark days, what would you say you would tell them just now to go through it and get to the other side?
Do you know something? It is all about perseverance. That will overcome anything if you just knuckle down. And I would also, one of the kind of biggest recommendations I give to people who are kind of starting to go through dark times is literally just to watch your finances. Even from the beginning, that was I get some great bits of advice for loads of people when I first started, and it was things like the money in the bank isn't yours. You've got debt to pay, suppliers to pay, staff to pay. Don't go on a spending spree. Run it tight. Be careful of wastage, the whole lot. And actually get ahead of the kind of dark days and things that will go wrong. So if you're sitting in a good financial position with a wee small nest egg in the bank, you can keep going and try and buy your premises and not rent. Things like that will get you through ups and downs that you get in business. The less outgoings you have and the more stability you have, you'll have less financial stresses and worries.
And great advice for anyone who's starting out business. If you look after the pennies, the pounds do look after themselves, the good old saying.
Yeah.
So throughout your business, there must be some proud moments. What would you say your proudest moment's been?
Proudest moment? Definitely get the second site open. That was, another kind of huge challenge. First one is great. You managed to achieve a successful site. But, replicating it into the second one was just in such an amazing location that Ayr has on the Witless Roundabout, where you're up against the big boys at Starbucks and Costa. You're going into a retail park, and this again, it's, just never really done by an independent coffee bar. It's almost impossible. But we purchased that during COVID when I was the only guy in Britain buying a restaurant. And it was Savills in London that was selling it. And I don't think they knew what it was worth or anything about it. And it was Frankie and Benny, so we were a bit kind of half defunct by that point. And it took about 6 months to get it over the line and managed to get, a dream second location. And it's just been amazing. And now rolling on.
So going from the beach, essentially, in Irvine with your first venue, which I've visited a few times, to then the venue in Ayr, completely different in terms of what you're going for. Like, you've got that beach walk, the beachfront,
absolutely,
walking with the dogs, to then just off the Whitlish roundabout, probably the busiest roundabout in Ayrshire.
We wanted to grow the brand, and the brand will appear wherever it appears. The next one will go back to a beach in Seamill, and the next one might be in the Glasgow city centre, Edinburgh, Newcastle, who knows. And we had to kind of adapt things and take it from there. But people with their dogs put in the car, they drive, so people will come wherever you are.
What would you say throughout your business time and looking at it is the creativity spark? Because one thing that I would say from visiting Gro is that you walk in and it's more than a coffee. It's the experience that you're getting off the back of it. You're 100%. Walking in and it's the culture that comes along with it.
People ask me, why do you think Gro is successful? We've had loads of companies try and replicate it. And I always say the same thing. It's not one thing at all. It's a combination of 100 different small things. And as I said to you earlier, it is things like the armchairs, the couches, the opening times, the lighting, the music, all these like little small decisions. The staff, we give them a lot of autonomy in how they dress and how they act, and we try to make it a home from home. There's dogs and kids running about. We try and make the kids' areas better. We try and cater for everybody, and we do have such a wide range of customers, and you're kind of beginning to see that change in modern culture as well. You're sitting at night and you'll get a crowd of 17-year-old boys in having a cappuccino, and you'll get an old buddy who's just in with her pal and a wee glass of wine. It's just a business that attracts such a wide spectrum of people.
It is completely different. I think touching back to your early days when you talk about the 90s when you were DJing and the culture difference, I mean,
huge.
When you were 18, would you ever fancy yourself sitting in a coffee shop?
I don't ever remember sitting in a coffee shop at 18.
It's completely different cultures. But I think that's one thing that, and this is something that, again, in business, it's not resting in your laurels.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, we'll have the most successful weeks that we've ever had with record sales, etc., and we'll sit down with a management team in the Monday morning and we'll go through everything that went wrong and everything that we could have improved upon. And we do meetings all week, and there's meetings tonight with the chefs, again, going over processes and how we can make things better. We never, you got to earn those customers every single day and not take anything for granted. The socials have got to get done perfectly. The food's got to get designed perfectly. Everything's got to be done again and again and again and again. Do
you see yourself as a bit of a perfectionist? Are you in about it constantly, or do you let the place run and flourish without you?
So I would actually say that, I'll speak for hospitality. I think to be successful in hospitality, you have to be half of a psychopath. I will wake up in the middle of the night going, there wasn't enough cheese in that toasty that sort of day, and different things like that, and I will stress and worry about it all through the night. You are never off duty.
I was going to say, if you've got somebody who might be getting stressed through their business journey, if you get any advice, but probably waking up at 3 a.m. stressing about cheese and a toasty.
Do you know what I say? I've got a great management team, and they'll say, boss, this went wrong, this customer's emailed with us, the whole lot, and we try and fix it as much as we can, but at a certain point you step back from it and go, right, okay, no one died here. This is not the end of the world. The sun's going to rise tomorrow, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to try and do better tomorrow. We're not going to go into the downer. We're going to get our head up, our chin up, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to try and fix what went wrong here. And that's the best that you can do.
Do you think that's something as well for businesses that, especially in the customer service front, nothing that any business can do is going to tick the box for everyone? And I think it's important for people who might get disheartened, and I think in every walk of life, from radio, from DJing events to running a hospitality venue, there's going to be people, and you get your reviews, and you can have 99 positive reviews, but I think we're in human nature, we're all look at the negative ones.
So I was actually explaining this to some of the staff, kind of new starts, and you'll have an amazing day, and it's been so successful, and it's been perfect in every way, and it'll go wrong for someone, and you try his best to fix it, and the staff or the team will be totally focused on that thing that went wrong, and they'll be in a downer. And I've got, okay, that happened, and let's do our best to rectify it and get the customer back on board. But at the end of the day, you can't discount, the many people that did walk out happy, and you just need to let it go. But in hospitality as well, and maybe this is a wrong bit of advice, but it's certainly something that I took on board. I don't look at any of the reviews, good or bad. I can see my faults and I can see where we're going wrong. I can look at it and try and improve it myself. I know exactly where we could improve upon, and you'll destroy your mental health if you sit and read reviews every day and night. Some are great, some are bad. Let's just try and do better tomorrow morning. But if you want to sit there, and I see businesses doing it every day online, even posting their negative reviews, as you say, not everything's for everybody. You just need to accept that. Some customers are not going to like what you do. We have plenty of people that don't like what we do. You're not going to be a business that's happy for everyone. Don't try and please everyone. That's just a road to nowhere.
Get your business model, accept what your business model is, look at how you can improve it.
Absolutely.
And as long as you're keeping customers continually coming through, then the model's working, and how do you improve in that?
Yep. I'll have arguments with chefs every day. We have a phenomenal bakery team, everything, the whole lot, but we'll go in and go, look, could we maybe do that a bit better? And that's the same every day.
Not resting in your laurels, constant improvement, and looking at the vision that you've got and enhancing that and trying to make things better. So we've heard about the listeners' tenner bargain of the week, but up next, Gordon, I'm looking for you to let me know what your bargain of the week is, plus finding out what drives Gordon Rennie to give back locally just after this.
This is Elliot Boyce.
And this is Ayrshire Insights.
Now, it's time to talk community, charity and Ayrshire Pride, but before we do that, Gordon, our listeners have been in touch throughout the show and letting me know what their weekly bargain is. So the question for you is, what's your bargain of the week that you've managed to get for a tenner?
Well, bargain of the week actually happened to me this morning. I was in a certain shop looking for a wee some treats and a new harness for my wee puppy, Sadie Gro, and I saw an advert for £10 nail clippings. I'm going, no, my wee puppy needs her nails clipped, and I went up and got a tenner, and I was expecting to pay 50 quid or something. I have no idea what dog nail clippings cost, so tenner, I just thought that was the biggest bargain I've seen.
I can honestly tell you, I've got no idea if that's good or bad.
I have no idea either. That's what I was like, tenner, that seems reasonable.
Got Gordon Rennie's bargain of the week. You can get your £10.
Get your nails done, it's just a tenner.
Did you get yours done for a tenner as well, or was it just the dogs?
Oh, it's just the dogs.
So, Gordon, we're going to get back to you. So, why support local causes like us here at Now Ayrshire Radio?
I think one of the kind of best things about running Gro and managing to get a bit of success is, being in a position to give back is just an amazing experience in itself. And I'd probably say that's the most rewarding thing about having a bit of success in business. You should want to give back. I don't think enough companies actually do it. So we've done many things over the years for the local community and different causes. We actively look actually for causes sometimes as well, because I believe it's just brilliant PR. You should be actively seeking to give back, and what can we do to help? And we get approached by a lot of people, and if we love the cause, we certainly want to get involved. And it certainly, brings me immense joy if you can give back. I think a couple of Christmases ago you gave away 200 gifts to 200 kids in care. Specifically, and we love tailored giving back in that fashion, which is going direct for us to the cause.
You've got the Ayrshire connection and been able to see your investment given back.
Yeah.
So what does that local feeling mean to you?
I'm very passionate about Ayrshire, very passionate about Irvine as well. We went down the harbour, and at that time there was no one there, and it's just, I think Vanilla Joe's just opened up a few months before us, and it was almost forgotten about section of Scotland, and it's just growing, and we love Ayrshire, and the local feeling's just getting better and better. The towns are improving, although they're in a bad state, as most of the UK is. But you can see changes on the horizon. People are trying and people are making an effort. We've had good relationships with both councils that we've worked in. You can see these guys trying to get involved, trying to get us involved, and certainly Irvine Harbour's trying to make a difference now as well. I think a big 14 million now play park built, which is just going to be enormous, next to the pond and the beach, which is sadly lacking for a long time, and it's great to see North Ayrshire Council getting involved and putting a bit of investment into the area. It will massively help.
It looks like, especially in that area, there's a lot of local impact happening. I think from other things that I've heard through various people, there is going to be massive growth down there.
Yeah, it's been needed. And again, it's actually been a victim of its own success as well. You know, I think certainly COVID changed a lot of things. A lot of Glasgow people came down, they photographed beautiful sunsets, snow-capped Goatfell, and they love the harbour, they love the whole area. And you can see Ayr as well begin to make big changes down the beach area and trying to, invigorate the town centre. It'll take time, but it is possible.
Specifically, how has your business made an impact locally?
I mean, we hope it's made an impact locally with the extent of bringing people, and there's no doubt it has. And we hope it's actually benefited other businesses in the harbour as well. We work as a team. For a few years there, the ship in next to us was closed. And that's not good for us either. And it's great to see, Chris Murray reopened it there, and now it's changed hands to the guys for the Red Lion. And we hope as a community and all the businesses down the harbour are doing better and working together. And it's great to see everybody getting a turn.
To be fair, it is in that full line. There's not competition amongst it. It's like everybody's got their niche.
Got their own thing, they've got their own customer, and it's great to see the choice. If you come down to the harbour, you've got a full range of businesses and styles of cafes and restaurants that you can go to. And the one thing, everybody's looking for a business opportunity. One thing that's missing is a fish and chip shop. We get asked that every other night, where can we go to get fish and chips? And we've got a big, beautiful harbour with, 7,000-8,000 people in it a weekend, and no one can buy a bag of chips.
That's actually really bizarre, because you can't seem
every
to
harbour in the
walk
world would have a fish and chip shop apart from Irvine. So there you go, everybody wants a business opportunity.
So we're going to finish strong with a fun round and find out what's next for Gro Coffee's Gordon Rennie.
Now Ayrshire Radio Podcast presents Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire.
And it's now time for 5 fast ones. So Gordon, I don't want you to think about it, just shout out the first answer that comes into your head.
Okay, Elliot.
Are you ready to play 5 fast ones?
Yep.
Right, let's go. Favourite takeaway?
Sag from the Indian.
Song that always lifts your mood?
M83 intro, and if you've never heard the M83, go listen to them. They've got so many amazing songs.
Best thing about Ayrshire?
Long, beautiful beach in Irvine.
Weirdest moment at work?
I had an 80-year-old woman put £10 in my underpants.
Who plays you in the movie of your life?
Listen, I don't know if there's anybody good looking enough, but I'll say Jason Statham.
Right, okay, thanks for playing 5 fast ones, and we're going to be asking our guests every week to get involved. So Gordon, before we round things up today, what's next for you and your business?
We're going to open a third site at Sea Mill. Some people say it's a Drawson, I think it's Sea Mill. And it's going to be the biggest, best coffee bar in Scotland.
Brilliant. And what's one thing that you would hope for Ayrshire's future?
I think for Ayrshire's future is to keep going with this trajectory it's on. Things are getting better everywhere. If we keep improving things, keep getting investment into the area, more cooler coffee bars, restaurants, keep working in tourism. Less golf courses, please.
There's plenty of golf courses.
There's too many golf courses.
So, and lastly, have you got any final shout outs and thanks to give out?
You told me to thank my staff. Nah, I'm okay. Listen, we've got 2 teams at both sites, and hopefully a third site coming, and the company's sitting better than it's ever been. We've got great bakers, great chefs, and we've got a great management team, and they're all working together, and hopefully we can keep going this way. We love it.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork does make the dream work, and it should be less abusive to their boss.
Gordon, massive thanks for coming on the show today.
Pleasure.
Catch you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now Ayrshire Radio Podcast presents Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire.